It's Game 7 in the 2019 Eastern Conference semifinals between the Raptors and the Sixers. There are 4.2 seconds left on the clock and the score is tied at 90. Kawhi Leonard catches the inbound at the top of the arc, drifts towards the baseline, and with Embiid's right hand in his face, he launches this high-arcing fadeaway that's about to become one of the most iconic shots in basketball history. The ball hits in front of the rim, bounces high, then hits it again and again and again, 4 times total. Both teams are just standing there, watching this ball bounce in slow motion, and then it finally drops into the basket. Kawhi has just scored the first buzzer beater in NBA Game 7 history, and the place absolutely erupts. But there's what keeps me up at night. What if that shot didn't go in? What if the basketball gods decided that the fourth bounce was gonna send it out instead of in? How different would the NBA look right now? What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because today we're driving deep into the NBA's biggest what-ifs. Ray Allen missed that shot in Game 6. It's Game 6 of the NBA Finals. The Spurs are 3-2 up in the series, and right now they are winning this game by 3 points with 5.2 seconds left. San Antonio had already begun celebrating on their bench. Greg Popovich has got that little satisfied smirk in his face. Team Duncan is about to win his 6th championship. The ropes are literally being set up for the trophy presentation. The Heatles era is about to end after just 2 years. LeBron James, desperate and exhausted, launches a 3-pointer from the top of the key to try to tie the game. It clangs up the rim. Miss. That's it. Season over. But not so fast. Chris Bosh grabs the offensive rebound, and somehow in all the chaos, he finds Ray Allen backpedaling into the right corner. Ray catches the ball, and without even looking down to check if his feet is behind the 3-point line, he rises up and shoots. And it goes in. Bang! Tie game. The entire arena erupts. The Spurs players look like they've seen a ghost. Miami goes on to win in overtime. 2 days later, they win Game 7 and capture the championship. Ray Allen played a pretty quiet series overall, but that one shot now is considered one of the most clutch moments in basketball history. But let's talk about what happens if that shot doesn't go in. If the ball hits the rim and bounces out instead of dropping through, the Spurs win the championship. The Heatles, after losing the finals, probably breaking up that summer. Ray Allen himself said in interviews that if he had missed, the team likely would have disbanded. LeBron's finals record would have been 1-3 at that point, and all the criticisms about him not being able to win big games would have gotten even louder. If Ray Allen misses, Team Duncan finishes his career 6-0 on the NBA Finals, which ties Michael Jordan's perfect record. That becomes part of the GOAT conversation for the rest of time. Kawhi Leonard, who was only 21 years old in his 2nd season, wins the Finals MVP and his career trajectory changes completely. He's immediately viewed as the next superstar in the league.
I had a great group of guys behind me, just pushing me, just wanting me to do, to be aggressive in the game, and they just helped me out.
Draymond's suspension. It's the 2016 NBA Finals, and the Golden State Warriors are up 3-1 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now remember, this Warriors team had the greatest regular season of all time, 73 wins and 9 losses. This was better than the 95-96 Chicago Bulls, who finished 72-10. Steph Curry was raining threes from the parking lot. Klay Thompson doing Klay Thompson things. They were on the verge of cementing one of the greatest dynasties in basketball history, and honestly, nobody thinks Cleveland has a chance at this point. Then comes Game 4, with less than 3 minutes left in the 4th quarter, and LeBron and Draymond get staggered up near half court. Draymond falls to the ground, and LeBron steps over him, which honestly was pretty disrespectful. But Draymond swings his arm up and makes contact with LeBron's groin area. Now here's where it gets wild. The refs don't call anything during the game. Everyone just kind of moves on because it's Draymond being Draymond. But the next day, the NBA reviews the footage and upgrades the foul to a flagrant one for a retaliatory swipe on the groin, which is probably the funniest official NBA terminology ever heard. And because this was Draymond's fourth flagrant foul points during the playoffs, he gets hit with an automatic 1-game suspension. So Game 5 rolls around and there is no Draymond Green, the heart and soul of the Warriors defense, sitting at home watching the game on TV. And Cleveland, who looked completely dead, suddenly finds life. They win Game 5 pretty convincingly. Then they go back to Cleveland for Game 6. LeBron puts up one of the greatest performances in finals history, and suddenly we've got a Game 7. And we all know what happened in Game 7.
At the end of the day, I'm going to give my teammates everything that I got. I'm going to give my coaching staff everything I got in Game 7.
Kyrie hits the clutch 3 over Steph. LeBron has a block on Iguodala. Cleveland wins their first championship ever. And it is the greatest comeback in NBA Finals history. Now there's the thing that keeps me up at night. What if Draymond just stays on the ground and doesn't swing his arm up? The Warriors almost certainly close out the series in Game 5. Their defense will stay elite, they maintain their rhythm, and they finish what they started. LeBron doesn't get to go back home and deliver the championship to his hometown. Kevin Durant's decision the following summer probably looks completely different because the Warriors already got their second championship. The entire landscape of the NBA from 2016 to 2022 is unrecognizable. How about if Jordan didn't retire after the first three-peat? On the afternoon of October 6, 1993, Michael Jordan walks up to a podium and announces his retirement from basketball.
The word retire means you can do anything you want from this day on. So if I desire to come back and play again, maybe that's what I want to do. Maybe that's the challenge that I may need someday down the road. I'm not going to close that door.
Now, if you weren't around for this, it's hard to explain how shocking this was. This is the equivalent of like if LeBron had retired in 2013 or if Steph retired after the 2022 championship. Jordan was only 30 years old and he was still the best player by a mile. And he had just won his third straight championship a few months earlier. He was averaging 41 points per game in the final series and then just walked away. The reasons were complicated. His father had been murdered just a few months before.
My father not being here with me today is that he saw my last basketball game, and that means a lot.
The media scrutiny around his gambling was intense. He was mentally exhausted from being the most famous athlete on the planet. So he decided to step away and go play minor league baseball, which honestly, only Michael Jordan could do. Just casually decide to become a professional baseball player after being the greatest basketball player ever. He does come back in March of 1995 with a legendary 2-word press release that just said, "I'm back." And then he goes on to win 3 more championships from 1996 to 98. So obviously, his legacy is still incredible. But think about this for a second. What if he never retired in the first place? The Bulls go into the 1993-94 season as defending champions with the best player in the world. So instead of Hakeem Olajuwon and the Rockets winning back-to-back titles in 94 and 95, Jordan probably wins his 4th and 5th straight championships. Then he comes back in 96 and they win again. That's 6 straight championships from 1991 to 1996. And the psychological impact would have been different too. By 1996, the question would be, can Jordan ever be stopped? Gray Oden stay healthy. The 2007 NBA draft is one of those drafts that people still argue about to this day. The Portland Trail Blazers had the first overall pick, and they've got 2 more options sitting there. Option 1 is Kevin Durant, this smooth, silky 6'10" scorer from Texas who could get buckets from anywhere on the floor and looks like he's gonna be special. Option 2 is Gray Oden, this 7-foot monster from Ohio State who looks like he was carved out of stone, plays incredible defense, and fits the model of traditional centers who dominated the league for decades. Portland picks Gray Oden.
The Portland Trail Blazers select Greg Oden from Ohio State University.
And honestly, at the time, it wasn't even a controversial pick. This was still an era where people believed you had to build around your big man first. Meanwhile, Kevin Durant goes second to Seattle, and we all know how that story goes. Durant becomes one of the greatest scorers in basketball history, wins MVPs, scoring title championships, and becomes a generational talent. But Gray Oden, his body just betrayed him. Knee injuries from the very beginning. Surgery after surgery after surgery. He played 82 games in his rookie year, then 21 games the next season. They missed 2 entire seasons, and by the time his career was over, he had played 105 total games across 7 years in the league. So everyone calls it the biggest draft bust in history. And yeah, on paper, it absolutely is. But here's the what if that's actually fascinating. What if Greg Oden's body held up? What if those knees stay healthy and he became the player everyone thought he would be?
I guess we'll never know.
The Lakers traded for Chris Paul. In 2011, 3 teams agreed to a 3-way trade. The Lakers were getting Chris Paul, and the Hornets are getting Paul Gasol and some other assets, while the Rockets are getting something. Everyone's shaking hands, popping champagnes, and celebrating. The deal is done and announced to the media. Chris Paul is officially a Laker. And then 45 minutes later, the NBA commissioner, Dave Stern, steps in and says, actually, no, trade's off, not happening.
David Stern, then commissioner of the NBA, decided to veto, to ixnay, to get rid of the trade that was on the table.
He just void an entire trade and cancels the deal. And the entire basketball world collectively loses their minds because wait, can he even do that? Technically, yes, he could, because the NBA owned the New Orleans Hornets at the same time due to some complicated financial situation with their previous owner. So Stern argued that the trade wasn't in the best interest of the Hornets and he shut it down. But let's be real about what actually happened. Small market teams were furious that yet another superstar was heading to the Lakers. They complained to the league office. Dan Gilbert, the owner of the Cavaliers, literally wrote a Comic Sans letter complaining about it. David Stern caved to the pressure. Imagine if the trade actually went through. Imagine if David Stern didn't interfere and just let it happen. The Lakers suddenly will have a backcourt of Kobe Bryant and Chris Paul, which is legitimately terrifying. You've got 2 of the most competitive, high IQ, killer instincts players in the league on the same team. But it gets better. The Lakers still had the assets to trade for Dwight Howard in 2012. So now, you've got the big 3 of Chris Paul, Kobe Bryant, and Dwight Howard. That's an elite point guard, one of the greatest scorers ever, and a dominant defensive center in his prime. That team is an absolute problem for LeBron's Heat. That's a legitimate championship contender for multiple years. And the ripple effects go way beyond just the Lakers. If Chris Paul goes to LA, he never ends up on the Clippers, which means the entire Lob City era never happens. Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan don't become stars. OKC never traded James Harden. Let's talk about one of the most painful what-ifs for Oklahoma City Thunder fans, and honestly, one of the worst front office decisions in the NBA history. James Harden had just won the NBA's 6th Man of the Year award by helping the OKC Thunder beat the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals and make it all the way to the NBA Finals. The Thunder have 3 guys on their roster: Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. 3 future MVPs on the same team, all under 24 years. Contract extension talks started happening, and Harden wants to get paid. But the Thunder ownership doesn't want to pay the luxury tax. They offered him a contract extension that is a little less than what he wants. When he doesn't immediately accept, they panic and traded him to the Houston Rockets for basically nothing. In return, they get Calvin Martin, Jeremy Lamb, and some draft picks. That's it. That's what it got for a future MVP. This trade is catastrophic for so many reasons. If they had just paid Harden and kept the big 3 together, the Thunder would probably win multiple championships in the 2010s. They already made it to the finals in 2012 when Harden was coming off the bench. Now imagine him starting and continuing to develop alongside Durant and Westbrook. The team is absolutely unstoppable. And here's where it gets even more interesting. If Harden stays in Oklahoma City, Kevin Durant probably never leaves. The reason KD went to Golden State in 2016 was because he was frustrated with the Thunder's inability to win a championship. But if they still have Harden, they almost certainly beat the Warriors in the 2016 Western Conference Finals. Let's not forget they were 3-1 up in that series as it was, and they didn't even have Harden. Add him to the mix, and that series is not even close. OKC wins, makes the finals, and probably beats Cleveland. Durant gets his championship, stays in Oklahoma City, and the Warriors dynasty never happens. How about if Len Bias didn't die before he joined the NBA? This one is different from others because it's not really about basketball. It's about a tragedy that affected a young man's life, and the basketball implications are honestly secondary.
Success story took a tragic turn this morning. Len Bias, the Maryland University basketball star on his way to becoming a world champion Boston Celtic, died of an apparent heart attack today at Leland Memorial Hospital in Prince George's County.
But we have to talk about it because Len Bias might be the biggest what-if in NBA history. In the 1986 draft, the Boston Celtics, who just won the NBA championships a few weeks earlier, used the second overall pick in the draft to select Len Bias from the University of Maryland. Larry Bird, Kelvin McHale, and Robert Parrish were still elite, but they were getting old. They needed someone who could eventually take over, and Bias looked like that guy. In college, Len Bias was incredible. Scouts literally described him as a Jordan-type player, but bigger and with a better jump shot, incredibly athletic, could score from anywhere, and had this fearless confidence that reminded people of the greatest players in the game. Len Bias spent the next day doing media appearances in New York and Boston. Everywhere he went, people treated him like a superstar. He was on top of the world. Then everything changed when he flew back to Maryland to celebrate with his friends at the university. And in the early morning hours of June 19, 1986, less than 48 hours after being drafted, Len Bias collapsed in his dorm room after using cocaine. He was pronounced dead at 9 a.m. from cardiac arrhythmia induced by a cocaine overdose. He was 22 years old. Len Bias's death had implications that went way beyond basketball. The entire country was shocked. It became national news and fueled some of the war on drugs conversation. It changed how people thought about substance abuse and professional athletes. If Len Bias lives and joins the 1986-87 Celtics, the entire trajectory of the late 80s and 90s probably changes. With him on the team, the Celtics probably stay dominant through the late 80s, and they might beat the bad boy Pistons. They might beat the Lakers again. They definitely don't enter the 20-dog age where they are basically irrelevant. An Eastern Conference Finals between Jordan's Bulls and a Celtics team led by healthy Larry Bird and Len Bias. That's the defining matchup of an entire decade. Instead, the Celtics faded. Jordan dominated the East without much resistance, and we never got to see what Bias would have become if Derrick Rose didn't get injured. 1 minute you are the youngest MVP in NBA history, flying through the air like gravity doesn't apply to you. The next minute, your entire career is derailing by injuries and just won't stop coming. It's game 1 of the first round of the 2012 playoffs. The Bulls have the best record in the Eastern Conference. Derrick Rose is in his absolute prime at only 23 years old and is already one of the best players in the league. Then late in the fourth quarter of the game, the Bulls already winning comfortably. Rose drives to the basket, lands awkwardly, and immediately grabs his knee. Non-contact injury, the worst kind. He tore his ACL, and just like that, everything changed. Rose missed the entire next season recovering from that ACL tear. Then he came back for the start of the 2013-2014 season, played 10 games, and tore the meniscus in his other knee. Then came more injuries, more surgeries, and more rehab. Over the next few years, Derrick Rose has multiple knee and ankle surgeries, and the explosive, jump out of the gym point guard who could get at the rim whenever he wanted slowly became a role player who had to completely reinvent his game without the athleticism that made him special. It's honestly one of the saddest career arcs in sports because Rose never stopped working. He never gave up. He tried everything he could to come back and be that player again. And there were moments where you could see some flashes of the old Derrick Rose. Like the game in 2018 when he dropped 50 points for the Timberwolves and broke down crying on the bench afterwards. But he was never the same player. He couldn't be. His body wouldn't let him. If that first ACL tear never happens, and Derrick Rose gets to play out his prime years without major injuries, the Bulls in 2011 were already championship-level team with Rose leading the way. A healthy, prime Derrick Rose is the biggest threat to LeBron James' dominance in the Eastern Conference. The Heat may not make 8 straight finals. The Bulls might probably win at least 1 championship, or maybe more. So this last one is really recent. Like this literally just happened and we're still processing it. It's Game 7 of the 2025 NBA Finals between the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Pacers are in the finals for the first time in 25 years. And all this is because of Tyrese Haliburton, who has been absolutely incredible throughout the entire playoffs. Haliburton has been hitting clock shot after clock shot all postseason long. Game-winning threes, go-ahead baskets in the final minutes, literally every single round. He has had a moment where he takes over and delivers for the team. The The Pacers are facing a 68-win Thunder team that was dominant all season, but they've managed to push it to Game 7, and honestly, a lot of people think they might actually pull off the upset. And Haliburton comes out on fire. He drew 3-pointers in the opening minutes. The Pacers are rolling. The crowd is going crazy, and everything is going according to plan. About 7 minutes into the first quarter, Haliburton drives to the basket. He plants his right foot to make a move, and his legs just give out. He immediately grabs his ankle, and the entire arena goes silent because anyone watching knows that looked really bad. They helped him off the court, and a few minutes later, it's confirmed: torn Achilles tendon. His night was over. His season is over. And honestly, his entire next season is probably over too, because Achilles injuries are brutal to recover from. Without Haliburton, the Pacers' offense completely falls apart. They don't have anyone else who can create shots at that level or make the kind of plays he makes. And the Thunder cruise to a 103-91 victory and win the championship. But here's the what-ifs killing the Pacers fans right now. What if Haliburton doesn't get injured? What if he stays on the court for full 48 minutes like he has been doing all playoffs? Game 7s are unpredictable, man. Anything can happen. His elite playmaking would have prevented those lazy turnovers and false shots that killed them in the second half. The game stays competitive, and it comes down to the final few minutes. And who knows what could have happened. So tell me, what is the biggest what if that I missed? Drop your answers in the comments below, because I know there are probably 50 more we could talk about. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the NBA alternate history, go ahead and hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss a video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.